Hello, everyone. This is Doug Spoon again with Menifee 24/7. We've got another video interview for you. As you can see, again, I'm sequestered here in my home office, and we're talking about the COVID-19 pandemic and ways that people are dealing with it. Today, we have Daniel Acosta joining us. He is a registered associate marriage and family therapist. Welcome, Daniel.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Sure. We wanted to talk a little bit about some of the things people are going through. And I'm sure you've heard of it a lot more than we have.
Yeah.
Everything from boredom to anxiety, depression, panic attacks, just wanting someone to talk to. And I know that you have offered your services to people and have been really busy with calls. What are the main concerns that you've heard from people through all this?
It's a great question, and I want to say thank you, Doug. Uh, Typically, what people came into the situation before we went into this hunker down mentality by the lockdown from Governor Newsom is anything you walked into it with has become magnified. So if somebody had anxiety, if somebody had depression, if somebody had codependency, relationship issues, they tend to get magnified because now, imagine if you're on a 6-week vacation with Uncle Louie. I could only have Uncle Louie for 2 days,
Right.
6 weeks. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? So typically that's what we find that's happening. Other things that are coming up from the clients are fears of, oh, where am I going to get food? Where am I going to get toilet paper? What happens if we run out of money? Things of this nature. And typically, what we're doing in therapy is finding grounding techniques, ways to redirect our energy. Um, what I tell my clients all the time is, no matter how much I worry about it, it ain't going to change anything. So the best thing we can do is try to devote some of our time that we have on our hands now to something more productive. Maybe that project at the house I never had time to do before, all of a sudden I have some time to devote to, or a book I've been meaning to write. Now I can get some more time to plug away at it. Another thing I try to encourage my clients to do is get in the backyard, get in the garden, get your hands dirty. Let's start working with some plants. You can get them ordered up via Home Depot or Lowe's and get them delivered to your house and put them in the backyard. And it's a way to ground yourself to take your mind off of this coronavirus.
Okay, I've seen some of this. What I'm going to mention in our own household here is getting a little too preoccupied with watching every news report on this to the point where you're obsessed with the numbers. So it sounds like what you're saying is if you keep busy with other projects, it's going to maybe uh, bring the anxiety level down a little bit.
Absolutely. I encourage everyone, shameless plug here, to go to Menifee 24/7 and get your news there instead of obsessing 24/7 on the news, which is what most people are doing, is what you're
Right.
referring to. I also want to encourage people to connect with one another. Oh, well, my son's a teen, or my daughter, she doesn't think we're cool anymore. That's okay. I don't need to be cool. I'm just mom. I'm just dad. We want to connect with our children, take advantage of this opportunity we have. They're only going to be that age one time. Let's embrace it.
This may be the first time in a long time with some of these families that they've spent much time together with children or the family all at once. It seems like it'd be a great opportunity to maybe get to know your kids a little better and do some activities with them because pretty soon we're going to go back to a routine where we're separated a little more.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's funny when you were saying that as you were describing, I was thinking about 1980s. We didn't have smartphones, we didn't have Wi-Fi, and people played outside. When you were kids, you played outside. When you came home, everyone sat down and ate dinner together. There was no internet. You actually had encyclopedias.
Right.
So these were things that we found ways to connect with one another and with our fellow humanity. So I think you're right on the money with your assessment.
Do you think that there's some lessons that we can learn from this that maybe we can take with us after things return back to quote unquote normal about how we interact with our family and others?
Absolutely, Doug. I think it's a great question. I would love to see people find ways that we lost touch. We lost touch with uh, what I like to call the EGC, electronic global community. it's great to have the access to technology at our fingertips, but we lose some of our humanity in that process to be able to connect with one another, understand nuance, ways to broker through issues and find ways to deal with adversity in a healthy manner, allow us to have voices and hear what the other person has to say, paraphrasing, finding ways to negotiate. These are all healthy skills that we need, especially when we become adults.
What advice would you have for adolescents or parents of adolescents? They're at a critical stage in their life. They're already going through a lot of changes, and they rely on the routine of seeing their friends and being in class, and they've lost all that. Have you heard many concerns from those types of situations?
Yes, sir. That population is getting activated. You're absolutely right on the money with that. What I'm getting is parents don't know what to do. Well, what can I do for Johnny? What can I do for Susie? He's really anxious or she's really struggling with depression. What I want to say first is let's reassure our children. Let's reassure them that, hey, you know what? No matter what, mom and dad, we love you. I don't care what happens. I'm still there for you. I'm going to love you no matter what. That's going to give them a sense of grounding, somewhere where they feel, okay, I feel safe, that no matter if I don't have Wi-Fi or not, or something like this happens, it's okay. Mom and dad actually love me. And then the other thing is that no matter what, in terms of family systems, that we want to use this as an opportunity, like we talked about briefly a moment ago, to reconnect with them, to attune with them. Put your arm around them and say, Johnny, you did a great job on that report. I know we're doing a little homeschooling today. Math was a harder subject for you, so we're going to work on that a little bit today. Let's try to use this as an opportunity to maybe help them get skilled up a little bit better.
Right. I think we're hearing even from some educators on this whole subject of distance learning that they don't want the parents to stress too much about having to cover all the subjects every day, and not making the kids feel like they can't handle it. That everybody, I think, is going to have to figure out their own routine and way to handle with this homeschooling. Would you agree?
I do. And I also, while we're talking about it, I'd like to throw a bone to the moms and dads out there and just say, we don't need to be perfect. None of us walk on water. Nobody knows it all. We're all going to goof. We're all going to make mistakes. It's a part of the shared human experience.
Mm-hmm.
But that, okay, you know what? I stepped in dog stuff. I'm not proud of it. I wipe off my boot and I keep on moving. And this also shows our children that they don't need to be perfect, that they don't need that pressure on their backs to hold to a standard that's just not possible. Heck, what is it? I think human average, if we're doing really good, is probably 7 to 8 out of 10 times on the money. Machines are better than us, and they're not even 100%. So let's enjoy that we're just humans.
I think people are confused too, and this leads to some anxiety with the messages that is coming out from government officials, because it seems like every day something is changing. The guidelines are becoming more strict, or where before they said maybe you don't have to wear masks, now they're stressing that more. What advice do you have for people who just feel like these things are out of their control and they can't keep up with the changing environment?
Yeah, it's a good point. Some personality types do struggle with change. There's no doubt about that. But what I like to tell my clients when I work with them in that context is change comes whether we like it or not. We lose hair, our hair turns gray, our bellies get bigger. These are things we're not going, or our skin gets more wrinkled as we get older. We're not going to be able to do anything about them. Worrying about them just tends to bring on more anxiety. So typically acceptance is going to be order of the day. I don't approve of it per se. Maybe I don't want wrinkles, but I accept it because there's not much I can do about it. Right. And in doing so, I've lowered my expectations, thus relieving myself of the anxiety.
I know a lot of times we are kind of, as parents, we're cautious or critical of the internet and the dangers that it can pose for people, and particularly young people. But it seems that it's a valuable tool for us now, especially if the families are all together using it wisely. How much value is there in someone maybe making a little video or family message and sending it out and just getting a response from somebody outside of their house.
I think it's tremendous. I think it's a great idea, and I want to encourage and empower everyone to do that. Hey mom, hey dad, let's do a quick little 10-second video. We'll go to the backyard and send it off to grandma, send it off to uncle and my aunt or whoever the case is. And it's a way that we can stay connected and current with one another.
Exactly. Anything else that we haven't covered that you'd like to mention?
I just want to say to Cindy Brooks out there, who's my clinical supervisor, hey Cindy, thank you for everything. I really appreciate everything you've done for me.
Wonderful. Well, we know that Daniel is based right here, lives in Menifee, correct?
Yes.
And is in the process of, will soon be opening an office here. Is that right?
As soon as this thing dies down with this coronavirus, we should be able to get this thing going.
Okay, great. Well, we thank you very much, Daniel, for being with us. And this is Doug Spoon with Menifee 24/7. We're signing off, and we'll talk to you again soon.